Okay, so I'm supposed to introduce you.
Working title, casual chats with fellow creators.
Alright, let's see how quickly we can fly through these questions because there's so much to do at PAX.
So much.
What's up, guys? We're here at PAX Australia and I'm with NATALISEA'S.
Hello everyone, my name's NATALISEA'S. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for agreeing to be a part of this interview. Well, welcome back from Korea.
Thank you.
How was it?
It was amazing. I loved the food there, so delicious, and I definitely want to go back.
Is there any food that you really enjoyed while you were there?
The seafood was amazing. They had the sliced raw fish, and then we had some like stews and soups. And what I love is that they've got all the different sides as well, so you can try a bit of the kimchi, tofu, all sorts of things to have with your food. It just enhances the flavour so much.
Did you have any Korean barbecue or something?
Yeah, I did. So they helped us cook the barbecue, and I found that it was very delicious to have the different sort of sauces. I think they've got like this gochujang kind of thing. So that was very yummy.
Alright, so I've got a list of questions here that I'm going to be asking you. We'll go over a bunch of different topics, particularly ones that are related to pillars that we focus here on the channel: music, gaming, art, design, and pop culture. Why don't we start off with some fun facts? NATALISEA'S, you have been making waves in the content creator space, especially with your creativity and authenticity. With over 16,000 followers on Twitch, you're known for fun, engaging streams.
See ya, mate. No more water. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. That's where it came from. No!
And a growing plushie council.
Yeah, I bought so many plushies in South Korea.
Yeah, I saw the photos on
Yeah,
this
I have
one.
about probably 10 of them. So what I did is I tucked them all in bed as well, so it was a nice photo.
Do you know how many plushies you have?
Endless. So ever since I was little, I've been collecting plushies from all sorts of different like shows, brands, everything. And we have this cupboard in home that has all the plushies displayed as well, so it looks really cute.
Wow. You must have at least 2 full rooms of them at this point.
Pretty much.
Yeah, wow.
My streamer rooms.
Yeah. So you haven't streamed for a while.
No, yeah, well I've been away, I've had a good holiday from streaming, but I'm ready to come back and play some new games.
Any games in particular?
So I'm excited to play Silent Hill 2 Remake. I think that's going to be really good. I hate horror games, but they're so much fun, especially to play on stream. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. It'll be my first time playing a game in the Silent Hill series.
Yeah, cool.
And I'm excited to play the Until Dawn Remake as well.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played any of the Silent Hill games. Your last stream was Space Marine 2, wasn't it?
Yes, I've been trying to remember what I was playing. I had such a good break. I feel like I'm all freshened up now. So Space Marine 2 was a lot of fun and very overwhelming.
Yeah, I feel that.
brought back to those moments.
I've been playing it with keyboard, and if you've been watching those videos, it's ridiculous. But it's quite a good game. Have you finished it already? Or?
No, actually I haven't.
Are you planning to finish it?
I have a lot of games on my unfinished list that I'd love to come back to. I find that there are good games to stream or stream for a time, but I also find playing them off stream is a good sort of way to relax as well.
Yeah, right. Well, why don't you give a brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is NATALISEA'S. I'm a streamer and content creator. I started streaming on Twitch in 2020, and from there I fell in love with photography, video, photos, all sorts of different work, and I bring a little bit of graphic design into it as well. I know you do also graphic design.
Yes. Well, thank you for that intro. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
Hang on, I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries.
It's gift time.
Oh, you didn't have to.
No, that's all right. It's just random bits and bobs.
No, I love it.
So we've got a little gift for random assortment of things. So, as you can see in this little Ziploc bag, we have a notebook because you like stationery.
That's so pretty.
We have a swag Borzoi sticker.
I love Borzois. They're so cute.
For you. We have a little pin of a Philippine jeepney.
Oh, that's
which
so
is very,
lovely.
very rare.
Yep.
And my content
Love
creator
the
card.
logo. It's so cool.
I've got all my brand colors on there.
Nice.
And this was supposed to be given to you at the Starfield thing, so that's like a little
Thank
title
you.
of my music release.
And this is like removable as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's an actual mini record in there with a QR code.
Tiny things. Thank you so much for the gifts.
That's all right. Now that we've got all of that sorted out, I've been a part of your community for like the last 3 or so years now, I think, or maybe it's reaching 4 years now. And that's been a really fantastic time. It's been interesting to see how your community reacts to your streams. Sometimes there's a bit of playful trolling from everyone, but overall it's been very, positive and there's a lot of good vibe. So for those that may not know you, what makes your community stand out?
I think that the sort of interactions that we have is almost like a conversation that you'd have in person as well. I find that that's the most beautiful thing about streaming is that you get to have all these conversations, sometimes too many at the same time. I talk very fast on stream sometimes and it's hard to keep up, but I love to be able to connect with people, and I think that's a very big part of the community and the morals that I have as a streamer as well.
I feel like talking very fast is a very content creative thing. It's like we need to give you as much information as possible.
Funny as well.
Yeah,
When
exactly.
people say that I'm Eminem all the time, so love that.
Yeah, because sometimes it's like you're rapping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Community, I feel, is very important, especially when nowadays a lot of people feel very disconnected, especially after COVID. For me, I've always been about bringing fun and creative content through gaming, music, art and design, and pop culture, and that's sort of the focus of my channel right now. I used to be all about like graphic design content, but I've since decided to move on from that. Well, not necessarily get rid of it altogether, but just kind of broaden out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it feels like you can really niche into design, and then it gets really like iffy. There's a lot of channels, like, I don't want to like name drop anyone, but like they're sort of stuck.
Stagnant,
in a rut. And I feel like you can only do design for so long before it's just very repetitive. Whereas if it's gaming, for example, there's always new games coming out and there's always some new content to react to. Yeah, I guess that's why I kind of like broadened my spectrum of stuff for my channel.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that you have your hobbies in all sorts of different areas. I feel like that's like the flavor of life, is to be able to try so many different things.
The best way to probably describe it is probably variety.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's not, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's kind of like where my channel is sort of heading to at the moment.
To see how you're growing and changing and having that reflect what you love.
Speaking of community, one thing that really stands out is how you've managed to build such a very positive environment on your streams while maintaining very clear boundaries with everyone that's watching your channel. How do you approach that balance, especially in a space like live streaming?
Yeah, it's been very hard. So it took me maybe a year or two, even 3 years to learn how to sort of keep those boundaries with people. And I find that, if you want to have a good community, you've got to prune that bush to be the space that's, safe and happy. So I've come to become a little bit more strict in how I run the community and everything. If someone is disrupting how I feel or the vibe, I just get rid of them. Like, I think that, just literally ban people if they're just not, contributing to a good space. Because if anyone brings you down, that pretty much ruins the whole stream.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, like, it sounds harsh, but it can honestly really help. And I think that people respect you for being able to look out for yourself.
At the end of the day, it's also sort of just culling the group in a way to be the right people that reflect your community.
Yeah, because you'll have anyone come knock on your door, but not everyone's welcome.
Yeah, exactly. There are millions of people in the world,
Yeah.
and if one person is just not the right fit for your community, it shouldn't make that much of a difference.
And never let them bring you down.
Yeah,
They're just one person.
exactly. Well, let's talk about content creation. Were you always a content creator before you live streamed, or did live streaming sort of take you down that path?
So I got into cosplaying at Supernova, and that was sort of the first gaming pop culture event that I went to. And I love to take, photos of different people or at the event itself. So I was posting those and a little bit of the behind the scenes of how I made my cosplays as well. But from there, I guess I had this account under NATALISEA'S that I was posting on. I also dabbled in a bit of like stationary content creation as well. So I was taking photos of all my like notebooks and everything.
Yeah.
But then I decided to try and live streaming, sort of during the lockdowns, having all that extra time. And I grew up watching YouTubers, so I thought, why don't I just give it a go? So it sort of started out a little bit differently, but then went down into a lot of gaming.
Yeah, cool. So you would say like YouTube was kind of like what sparked it for you?
Yeah, that was definitely the inspiration.
Yeah, right. That's kind of like what I'm trying to do right now as well, because I think ever since 2008, kind of when YouTube was just starting, that's when I kind of got into it, and I wasn't really like posting any serious content at the time, and sort of started getting a bit more serious around 2020, which is when everyone sort of got onto the scene a little bit.
Yeah.
But now I'm like starting to take it seriously, and I'm actually really enjoying it.
That's so good. Yeah.
Especially because before I was like focusing so hard on like trying to post content in multiple different platforms, like make sure that there's an Instagram post for it, make sure that there's a TikTok that's like leading you to the YouTube.
Yeah.
But then I noticed nothing was happening. Once I just solely dedicated my post to like just posting on YouTube, I noticed a sudden change. Like it's sort of growing the YouTube now, which is kind of cool. So
I find sometimes the advice that is out there just really depends on the person and then your own journeys to find what you love and then stick to that.
My goal is to be the biggest YouTuber in the inner west. I've seen it. So we're both here to create content for PAX Australia. Do you have any sort of particular content in mind that you're going to create?
Ooh, normally I'm quite prepared, but I find that I haven't had as much time to edit, so maybe I'll do a bit of like an overall compilation of everything that I've seen. And that's a really good sort of snapshot of my 3 days here.
That's a really good way to sort of just, without having to spend too much time on the editing and stuff, it's really cool that you can just put a bunch of clips together and make a little montage so that people get an idea of the event.
And then they want to come next year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why don't we talk about PAX Australia a little bit? What's got you hyped this year? And is there anything in particular you're looking forward to seeing?
So my favorite thing to do at PAX is to find all the different places to buy or earn pins, because usually I like to cover my whole entire lanyard with all the pins that I found. There's such cool designs, whether it's from like Game Cancer, Cure Cancer, or it's from a game as well. I find those are really nice, and PAX themselves have their own pins per year that sort of represent the theme that they've got.
Right.
So I'm keen to see what those look like.
Yeah, I've been walking around and seeing everyone with like pins on their lanyards, and I'm just like, oh, what? I want those. At the same time, I see there's a lot of effort to like get them as well. So.
It's a curation, I suppose, to decorate how you want.
Some people are like so into it. Like I've seen like their jackets are just covered in. There's a lot of like indie stuff at PAX as well. Is there any?
We'll start that one again.
So is there any sort of like indie gems that you're loving right now, or that are on your radar?
I suppose I just sort of stumble upon them. I usually find out about indie games from other creators, but I feel like here there's so many different booths, so you can kind of just go through and find your favorites from there.
Okay, yeah, cool. So there's none that sort of come to mind?
I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah. I think there was like a thing somewhere for Cold of the Lamb, was it?
Yeah, there's a Cold of the Lamb booth. I hear they're like marrying people or something.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Nice. So when you stream, you do a bunch of IRL and the latest games, especially ones that are like narrative driven. Is there any new games or like plans that you have in general for when you get back to streaming?
Yeah, I guess the ones that I'll play in October, the scary ones, is sort of the ones that I'll be doing. Though I find that the indie horror scene for games is quite big, so we'll see if there's other little ones. One that I'm actually looking forward to that has been released is Copycat. That's a cute game that is, I think the Melbourne creators.
Games, right?
Yeah, I love cats. They're so cute.
Stray, that's a good one.
Stray is good, yeah.
I think there's like a new one coming out that's like Parkour Dog or something.
Yeah, it's kind of similar.
Parkour Dog. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with next.
Thank you.
On that note, what about collaborations? Obviously, you've done streams with like Trash and like Holly, but do you have any sort of dream collaborations you'd love to do one day, whether it's like another creator or is it like a business or something?
I think that either Sony or Adobe are pretty cool, so that'd be interesting. That sort of creative part. I think bringing gaming into other things like adjacent industries is a cool collaboration to create, I don't know, whether it's stories or new worlds.
Yeah. I'd love to do something with Adobe. Like I've been to a couple of their events. Back when they used to have the Adobe Symposium.
Oh yeah.
My old job used to send us to those.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'd love to do something with Adobe, but I feel like Adobe is like popping a lot of stuff right now. So, but like for me personally, I'd love to work with like Marvel or like a drink brand like Asahi would be really cool.
Unique, yeah.
There's nothing like a good Asahi Black. Get an Asahi Black today.
Because I feel like a lot of content creators are doing brand deals with like energy drinks or things like Red Bull or like Monster or Prime. So yeah, I'd love to do something a bit different.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Speaking of drinks, do you have a favorite drink?
Ooh, a favorite drink? I mean, I love bubble tea, but I guess my go-to would be like a peach iced tea. I love my cold drinks.
I love bubble tea too.
Yeah.
Taro milk tea.
Ooh, yeah.
With sago.
Yeah, that's nice.
Now let's sort of talk about music because that's another one of our pillars on this channel.
Yeah.
You've been recently getting into like rock and metal, so is there any like kind of songs or artists that you're listening to right now?
I found that the Alan Wake album was really good. So Old Gods of Asgard is a band in the game, and there were some really, really good songs from that. So that got me into rock. But then I got into another band called Ghost, and they're like a very like rock band as well, with some interesting themes. So I've just been listening to that for the past 6 months pretty much.
And you sort of still in that Ghost phase? Yeah, cool. So we talked a little bit about graphic design. And we're both graphic designers by trade. Has graphic design influenced your content creation at all? I
reckon so. There's some good processes when it comes to graphic design, and I think that iteration is probably one of the most important things to continuously improve on what you're doing and yourself and your ideas and everything. So
I noticed on your streams on OBS you've like cropped your video frame a lot, so just little pixels of differences each time.
I think consistency is important as well.
Just having that sort of knowledge of design thinking is really helpful when coming to designing your streams. And there's always these people that come into streams offering graphic design services who think they know what graphic design is, but
all just bots and spam.
They're all just bots and spam.
Which is unfortunate. It makes a bad name for graphic designers.
I know, it really does. If you look at their profiles as well, they're all like offering the exact same thing, and you can tell it's a bot straight away. It's a very specific kind of like gamer design, usually with like a wolf or something with like bright green eyes or something. So you're a full-time designer, right? Outside of streaming. How have you been finding that?
It's fun to have something that's a bit different. I find that having hobbies within different industries lets you have experiences from different, I guess, like worlds, I suppose.
Yeah.
I've got my gaming world. There's a bit of that, you know, cosplay, art, and business. So it's good to be able to learn from each of them and then bring that to the other one as well.
Yeah, nice. How do you sort of balance all of those different things?
I think that having like a good sort of like schedule and divvying it up instead of trying to do too much at once is good. And breaks are really important as well.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
try to relax when I can too.
I heard you're a big Notion user.
I am. I love Notion, but it's unorganized Notion, not the beautiful ones that you see.
Yeah.
I put
I don't
all
know
my
how
thoughts.
people do that.
I know, right? It takes so much time and effort, but
We're graphic
yeah.
designers. We should be able to do it, but it's just like, no.
It's basically the inner workings of my mind. All my notes and things and feelings
Yeah.
are in there.
I've been rebranding myself as a creative vagabond.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of like my way to bridge creativity and travel. And speaking of travel, I'm actually going on holiday soon
Oh, yeah?
too. I'm going to Japan in
Oh,
March. Yeah.
that's so
You've been to
good.
Japan, right?
I love Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went 2019.
Right, yeah. Is there anything that's like really stand out that I should probably check out?
I love the street food. I had takoyaki, and that was so good.
Oh, I love
so
takoyaki.
fresh.
I
Yeah.
love takoyaki. I'll have to look up for some like
definitely.
authentic takoyaki.
Yeah.
Now you do some IRL content.
Yeah.
When you do IRL content, do you feel like it affects the way that you create?
I suppose that IRL needs sort of a time and place very specifically, and I try to sort of organize what I'm doing around that, because when you're at a location you may as well sort of spend a bit of time there to get to know what you're sort of looking around and doing. So yeah, it's a really fun thing to do, but there's a lot of different sort of rules you have to be mindful of. I mean, in general, everyone should be a respectful person, but unfortunately there's been some people who have kind of disrupted, I suppose, the idea of IRL streaming. So I like to ensure that I put my best foot forward to represent, I guess, the community as well when I do it every now and then.
Yeah, right. So you've done some IRLs in the past, like at Vivid Sydney and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Has there been any other sort of events that you'd like to do IRLs at?
Well, I guess DreamHack and PAX are probably good ones. I
Yeah,
love to
yeah.
bring that gaming events to my channel to be able to share them
Yeah.
with people who might not be able to go to the events or
Yeah.
would like to hear more about it. But I think that other things that would be cool is to have some sort of like Sydney Harbour boat
Yeah,
experience.
because one that just came to my mind
Yeah.
now was Sculpture by the Sea.
Yeah, there's a lot of good outdoor areas. And
Yeah.
I find that outdoors the best for IRL with internet connection and everything, but also it's just gorgeous to be able to enjoy a really good day
Yeah,
and some good
yeah.
art or something like
And
that.
chips on a stick?
Yeah, my favorite.
This is probably a big question.
Yeah.
What has been the sort of biggest challenge for you as a creator, and how did you overcome it?
I guess one of the biggest challenges is that eventually when you get to know the people that are within the community, there's opportunities to be there like in real person with them. And whether it's like, viewers, other streamers and peers, it is kind of scary to actually be face to face and go to events, meet people. And because I've had a bit of practice now, I feel a bit more
Yeah.
confident about it. Definitely when you're away from the screen of the computer, it's a little nerve-wracking
Yeah.
to be part of everything. But honestly, it's just such a wonderful thing to be able to meet people in person and
Yeah.
have a drink together.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this coffee and this whole interview, like I was feeling very nervous at first, but now with sort of getting into the flow of the
Yeah,
conversation,
sometimes I'm
so-
like, oh, I don't want to do it, I don't
Yeah,
want to go.
yeah.
But then when I'm there, I have the best time, and afterwards,
Exactly,
I'm so glad that I went.
Exactly. Well, as creators, it's kind of easy to experience like creative burnout sometimes.
yeah.
Have you experienced that a lot?
Balancing full-time work and content creation is so challenging. Eventually, I do find that I don't want to do anything. I don't want to create anymore.
Yeah.
And instead of feeling guilty about it, I've tried to just take a bit of a break. And if I get the spark, I'll do something. If not, it's totally okay. Just to sort of
Yeah.
go with the flow of things.
Yeah, and I think our communities would understand as well.
Very understanding. It's good to have a mature community and friends who can understand that we're all human.
Absolutely. Yeah. Awesome. Well, what about pop culture? Is there anything that you're sort of loving right now in terms of like, TV, film?
Every now and then I might get into watching something. So I've just started watching this show called Invincible on
Oh,
Prime. and
I
it's-
finished that
Oh,
recently.
really?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really
I'm
good.
just up to season 2 at the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've been watching that in the background.
Yeah. How'd you feel about like the very first episode?
It was intense. I had no idea what I was getting into.
Yeah.
I'd seen the name before, so I was like, all right, let's watch it without any prior knowledge.
Yeah.
And it was shockingly wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a perfect way to describe it. Without any spoilers. Yeah. I've been watching Agatha all along.
Oh, I heard about
The
that.
new
It's
Marvel
good.
series. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
It's very, I don't know, the way they marketed it, and I've talked about this in a previous video, it felt very comedic. Like they marketed it like a comedy kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then when you actually watch it, it feels like a full-on production, like an actual movie almost.
That's so cool.
So yeah, definitely worth checking out.
Yeah.
Well, this has been the interview with NATALISEA'S. So before we wrap up, I just wanted to basically say it's inspiring to see how you've built such an authentic and fun
you.
community while staying true to your roots and interests. Your journey is proof that being yourself can make waves, and your approach to maintaining boundaries shows that it's possible to engage deeply with your community without losing yourself in the process.
Yeah.
It's been great to hear from you, NATALISEA'. Thank you for joining us for this interview, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I very much appreciate it. It's been so good to be able to talk about a multitude of different things that sort of make up who you are and what kind of content you want to make.
Oh, thank you. Well, where can everybody find you online?
So you can find me under NATALISEA'. Now you have to put text there.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
All the links are here for you guys to check out. There's like Instagram, TikTok,
Yeah.
everything. All of it is NATALISEA'. Please do check her out. Give her a follow if you haven't already. So yeah, thanks so much guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And as always, we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
You can find me as NATALISEA'. Sorry, can I say it again?
Yeah, I've been starting all the time, restarting all the time. What am I calling this segment again?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we might call it working title for now until I get a title.
Working title, casual chats with fellow creators.